Hi there. My name's Austin Davis, and I'm a poet and a student at ASU. I'm the author of The World Isn't the Size of Our Neighborhood Anymore, which came out from Weasel Press in March, and Celestial Nightlight, which came out from Ghost City Press in July. I'm super excited to be here, and thanks for listening to my poems. This first poem I'm going to read is called Happy Birthday, and it's from my next book, Lick My Neck and Lie About the Weather, which should be coming out sometime in the next year or so. And I wrote this poem over the summer. It was the night of the only rain in Phoenix since I can't even remember how long. And I got super drunk, and I started writing this poem outside on my patio, just watching the rain. It's called Happy Birthday. There's a yellow balloon, the color of autumn after snow, bouncing around my chest. I often mistake its rhythm for my heartbeat, so trust me, I know I can't be trusted. Let's play a party game where we have to take turns telling each other about all our fears and mistakes, and take a shot each time we wish we had a time machine. We'll be blackout drunk before the guests start ringing our doorbell. Last night, I broke into my old elementary school and left a coffee mug full of wet dirt and seeds in the janitor's closet to see if it's possible for a flower to grow tall and bright under the glow of a light bulb on a string. I've always thought of happiness as being tangible, the most brilliant mango hanging from the highest branch. But if we can't even find the forest, how are we supposed to climb the tree? Each day numbs me into dismissiveness until my lips are purple from wine and I'm sitting on the patio watching the rain darken the red brick tiles around my feet. Fill my lungs with hot breath and we'll blow out the candles together, sing that familiar tune, learn how to pop without a sound. Thank you. The second poem I'm going to read tonight is called OCD, and it's about my experiences as a kid up until now dealing with obsessive compulsive disorder. It's called OCD. I have an awful memory. I think it's because when I was a kid, my OCD made me list every person in the world that I loved before I could fall asleep. I'd whisper to my pillow that I love my parents. I love my brother and sister. I love my best friends, my grandparents, my aunts and uncles, my teachers, everyone in my life, all the way down to the janitor who said hi to me sometimes at school, Mrs. Larson's annoying chihuahua who would bite my ankles, even the older kid who flicked water in my face when I bent down to sip from the water fountain. It was like I was writing a thank you note to every person I had ever met for simply existing and then eating the paper. I loved them all equally, and I needed them to know that, or I was convinced they would be dead by the time I woke up the next morning. If I said someone's name twice, I had to start over. If I missed someone, I had to start over. If I said someone's name but didn't say I love you, I had to start over. I feel like a fucking carnival act. Waking up every morning is a dance across a trapeze. My head is filled with bees, and each bee is an intrusive thought telling me to wash my hands that 8th time, check the stove again, call my mother at 3 a.m. to see if her house has been hit by an asteroid yet. The world record for floating in water is 54 hours, 27 minutes, but I've been swimming my whole life. When you have OCD, your existence is an ocean. Some days the water is calm and I'm floating forward. On other days, I'm sidestepping lightning, plunging under waves. I wish for my brain to heal, but it's like a wound that's been touched so much it won't scab. I can't remember the last time my feet felt the ground. Thank you. And the third poem I'm going to read is called Quarantine, and it's from this little chapbook that came out from Ghost City Press over the summer. It's free to download from their website, and all tips go to Black Lives Matter. It's called Quarantine. I stand in my bathrobe on the front porch with my coffee. I take out my flask and return it to my pocket as if I were a kid again and everything bad has to be a race. I watch my neighbor stand in her bathrobe across the street, staring at the empty road between us. It makes me sad to think that people are dying every day because of this, and I'm getting drunk in the mornings. I miss hugging people. I wonder if Oprah would call that selfish. Last night, I dreamt I was a dog. I don't remember if I was a Great Dane, a Golden Retriever, or a Cocker Spaniel, but I suppose you can't always know who you are when you're consumed by a search for serotonin. I bounced through the sunny neighborhood with my tail wagging and my ears perked. I chased rabbits, pissed on trash cans, and moved from house to house, being snuggled and loved by mothers, fathers, and children. They fed me half-eaten salmon under their dining room tables, and I think I understood why humans don't want to be human sometimes. At night, I cook chili. I've had chili and gin for 26 straight nights. Why should I change it up now? If I were living in a game show, I'd be pretty damn close to having green slime poured over my head. I walk around the little apartment and press play on all the cassette players I've hidden from room to room. Above the stove, Aunt Louise wants another slice of pie. Between the sofa cushions, my mother yells at my little brother to pick up his dirty socks. Out on the balcony, I hear Grandma's fist on a bathroom door, and I know my cousin is throwing up in the bathtub. I close my eyes as the voices sink into a rhythm. I feel like I've tripped on a Hot Wheels track and stumbled back into my childhood bedroom, some sort of world I can still understand. I take a deep breath, sit back in my chair, and spoon chili into my mouth. The kids are playing Sandman in the backyard, and I know it's neither light or dark outside. I take a sip of gin from my glass, and for a split second, I've almost convinced myself they're all really there. Thank you. So the last poem I'm going to read tonight is the final poem in my next collection, and it's called Jimmy's High. If you point your telescope up on this clear summer night, you might be able to spot Jimmy. He's probably too small to see from your backyard, but hey, you could tell your kids that any one of those airplanes could be him, falling back to Earth. Right about now, Jimmy is swimming through nothingness, like he has been for longer than he knows. Back in the rocket on Mars, Jimmy's captain is smoking his fourth cigarette and banging his fist against the table over and over again. The crew is shuffling away to the edge of the little kitchen as their coffee mugs bounce up and down. On Earth, mission control is in a code red. Every telescope from New York to LA is focused on finding their stick of hay in a pile of needles. Unfortunately for NASA, a little college newspaper caught word about Jimmy. Within an hour, every news station in the country was talking about this poor boy from Prairie Creek on their evening broadcast. Every kid with a pair of binoculars is straining out their window right about now, scanning the sky until bedtime. When you're hurtling through space slower than Mrs. Huckles rides her electric scooter through the supermarket, you have a lot to think about. For a while, Jimmy screamed. He screamed and screamed and screamed, flailing about for God knows how long. Jimmy thought of his mother giving him a hug on Thanksgiving, drinking beer with his friends on the roof, the children and wife he never met. Jimmy cried. He cried so long the blackness began to look like a cape he thought he might be able to grab in his hands and pull away to unveil autumn in his little town where everything would be okay again. Jimmy thought about movie theaters, wind chimes, school buses, and making love. He thought about being a kid and spending his summers trying to touch the bottom of Wilson's Lake, but never having enough breath. He thought about biting into a peach, falling off a bike, being so tired you pass out on the couch with the TV still on, and how bodies don't decompose in space. Jimmy will be 26 years, 4 months, and 18 days old until the sun explodes. He couldn't wipe his eyes in his spacesuit and helmet, so the tears dried on his cheeks. Maybe Jimmy would be found by a time-traveling orangutan or a teenage alien who ran away from their planet in the angstiest possible way. Or maybe he wouldn't be found. Maybe that would be just as well. Jimmy closed his eyes and saw nothing but the color of wind. Thanks. Cool.